Hi, I'm David Halliday with BoatSmith here in West Palm Beach, and we've been working on our latest Ariki for the last 3 months, and we're at a point where I thought I would show you some of the features of this boat. One feature on this boat is that it will get dagger boards in each hull, and those will be located right between these windows up against the outside. The next feature is that we've added a low house port and starboard for a guest stateroom and a head compartment. Also, we've straightened the stern post angle. This will give us a much better hydrodynamic flow, and it reduces the rudder drag considerably. Got a nice shoe down at the bottom to support the rudder loads. We're using the Warm style lashings. They're very nice. We've moved around to the back of the boat. We're looking forward. What we're looking at here is a mock-up to help us optimize the layout of the cockpit and the motor designs. This represents the cockpit sole, and the motor, while it's here inboard now, it really won't live inboard. One will live all the way over in this corner, the other one will live all the way in this corner. Very important to catamaran sailors is the amount of bridge deck clearance. Our basic bridge deck clearance here is 29 inches. In addition, our bridge deck at that level is concentrated right in the very middle of the boat. None of it carries further aft, and none of it carries way forward. It's very concentrated right in the middle of the boat. Now, along with bridge deck clearance is also, because we're using outboards, that means that we have to make these outboards so they'll reach the water and stay in the water. We spent quite a bit of time researching which would be the best outboard motors to use on a boat like this. First off, outboards, because the power to weight ratio is vastly superior to a diesel, and it also provides outside motors, not inside motors. We don't want the smells and the associated dirt inside small hulls like this. So, given that we went outboards, we determined that the best motor for this style of boat was going to be the 70 horsepower Yamaha. It's one of their most popular redesigned motors. The reason it happens to work well for this boat is it has a 2.33 gear ratio, which enables it to swing a larger, more powerful propeller. That'll enable us to have plenty of torque to move this boat. The other thing that it provides is it provides very miserly fuel economy, really good fuel economy. It's also very quiet. It's also very light. It's a 257 pound motor. That's 5 pounds less than the 60 horsepower high thrust. So when all was said and done, we think these are just terrific motors. We're expecting, from the calculations that we've done, we're expecting a cruise speed of 10 to 12 at 50 to 60% of throttle. We're expecting flat out cruise speed maybe 15. We're thinking that's going to be terrific. One of the great things about outboard motors is the ability to remove all of your running gear and your propeller from the water. This helps with corrosion issues. This helps with drag. It's just a real clean way. Now, one thing, having one of these 70 horsepower in each side out against the hull is going to provide for just excellent maneuverability. This boat, with the motors placed close to the centers of the boat, will literally just spin. It's going to be a very, very nice boat and controllable that way. It also has 140 horsepower for when you really want to crank on it. So part of the reason for this mock-up is these motors require someplace to live inside the cockpit, and also we have to have a way to transfer those 140 horsepower to the boat. To transfer this energy to the boat, we do that through the engine mount and the nacelle fairing forward that attaches the motor to the cockpit. And that serves to support and strengthen the whole area of the motor attachment, as well as provide protection to the motor from salt spray. I'm sitting here basically at the helm seat and with my new 70 horse here. On either side are the engine boxes that will be over the two motors. This will be over under the box. The helm seat will be here. On the forward side of the helm seat will be the helm wheel, and then another seat over the cooler. To port, this is where the head will be. We'll take you inside the head as we work more on the interior in there. To starboard, this boat is set up with a single aft cabin there, and storage for foulies and wetsuits and that kind of large, bulky hanging locker kind of stuff. A lot of ventilation in it, immense amounts of cockpit room. We're really pretty happy about this. We're in the port main cabin, and I'm at the nav station office, and obviously the chart table on the desk, the instrument panel in front, bookshelves over here, underneath several more shelves for storage. Underneath me on the floor is a very large storage locker. Underneath my seat here is another large storage locker. This is additional storage here that will have a flip-up access. A bookshelf on top. Behind me is a hanging locker for your special night out ashore clothes, if you will. It's a very comfortable space. Large hatch overhead. You can even stand up and see the helm from there, so it makes communication easy. Actually, right through the companionway, I also have a direct line of sight to the helm. It's a very nice, comfortable spot to spend time, to plan wonderful adventures. This is the view of the port main cabin from the other end, and I'm in the main bunk. The main bunk is 7 feet long. Got a great set of companionway stairs coming down, and then this area here will be added in to create more useful storage right there next to the companionway. We're now in the forward end of the starboard main cabin, the galley. Under my right hand here, this will be where the cooktop is. This side will be the sink. We have an overhead cupboard on each side and the forward end. In this forward bulkhead here, we're going to install a wall-mounted oven, and so the oven will actually recess into the forward compartment along with a storage cabinet on either side. This whole end underneath the forward end of the galley cabinet will be an ice box. This boat will have a freezer in the cockpit to make ice with, to load this, as well as make ice cubes to throw in a cooler for adventures off in the dinghy. It's got a lot of counter space here. It's got nice floor space. It's got lots of overhead. It's got light. It's got a great big hatch. It's going to be a great kitchen to cook in. I'm in the dinette now at the aft end of the starboard house, and it's a very spacious dinette. It can easily seat 6 to 8 for a comfortable dinner. lots of room. There'll be a very nice wood table that will drop down to make this a bunk as well. I mentioned that the wood that we're using for the interior trim on this boat is really beautiful red heart sinker cypress. This wood is wood that was been recovered from underneath mud bogs and underwater and then resawn. It has a beautiful, beautiful grain and texture to the wood that is going to be very pretty for the wood trim in this boat. This boat also, as I mentioned, outside gets the dagger boards. That's what this space here is for. And we will tie the cabinetry in so that it all just flows. The hard corners that you see here will be replaced with radiuses so that it's friendly. We don't like getting sharp corners in the shoulders ourselves or the hips. And so we're real excited about this, and look forward to showing you more of this great boat as we get more done.